Back at Sterling High School, the Fort Morgan Mustang girls will take on the Lady Sterling Tigers. The opening tip is brought to you by Ingmar Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmar Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. The Fort Morgan starting lineup is brought to you by Blodor and Lumber. Visit Blodor and Lumber at blodorandlumber.com. In Fort Morgan at 130 State Street. Fort Morgan starting lineup is Samantha Scott, Christina Frick, Lindsay Nestor, and Aurora Baca, and Michaela Forsythe. Shot is up and no good by Sterling. Flip it around the outside, now underneath to number 13, Maggie Adney. Fort Morgan with the rebound. That goes to Samantha Scott. Ball down court underneath to Christina Frick. Now trying to get it underneath to Aurora Baca, but rebounded to the Sterling Tigers by Jenna Knutson. First shot is up and good by the Sterling Tigers. Puts them up 2-0. With 7:13 to go in the first period. Fort Morgan had a tie-up, and now inbounds far into Michaela. Now it's going to be saved into Sterling. The first turnover of the game for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Then taken away by Fort Morgan. Michaela Forsythe in the backcourt trying to break this full court press. Aurora Baca now with it. She gets it over to Christina Frick. Christina Frick and Fort Morgan does not get across the 10-second line. So turnover by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. With Jenna Knudsen, she gets it in and underneath to Maggie Adning. It's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Sterling to inbounds to the left of their basket. Jenna Knudsen gets it in to Maggie Chavez, and that is up and good for Chavez. 4-0. Get the ball down court to Lindsay Nestor. Lindsay Nestor now to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott over to the left wing to Aurora Baca. Her shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Christina Frick. Then lost out of bounds by Fort Morgan. So turnover to the Sterling Tigers. Sterling leading 4-0 with 6:26 to go in the first period. Runner up and good. I believe that was Chrisman that put that in. 6:17 to go in the first period. Sterling up 6-0. Fort Morgan inbounds on the far side, about 3/4 court into Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott into Christina Frick. Christina Frick, her shot is off the backboard and no good. Rebounded to the Sterling Tigers. Shot up and no good. Rebounded to number 33. Back out, and now Michaela Forsythe with a steal. She is going to be called for the travel. So another turnover by the Mustangs early on here. Fort Morgan down 6-0. 5:45 to go in the first period. Sterling, the inbounds from the far end of the court, gets it into Jenna Knudsen. 5:41 and counting in the first period. Samantha Scott on Knudsen. Knudsen drives down the right side. Her shot is going to be up and no good. Rebounded by Abby Brower. There's going to be a foul, and that's going to go against Samantha Scott, her first. So Brower to go to the line to shoot 2. Her first shot is up and off the rim and no good. So Kayla Smock checks in for the Sterling Tigers. Kylie Chavez takes a seat. Still 6-0 in favor of the Sterling Tigers. Second shot up and no good. Rebounded to Aurora Baca. Ball down. Going to be stolen by the Tigers in the backcourt. Rebounded off of many hands here. Now it's going to be a shot by number 33. That's going to be up and good for Newton. Another turnover in the backcourt by the Mustangs. Now turnover by Sterling. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here. It's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with them here with 5:05 to go. The Fort Morgan Mustangs down 8-0 here on B106 and B106.com. Back at Sterling High School, the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 8-0. Ball in the front court. That's going to be knocked into the back court, but taken back by, going to be a turnover as Michaela Forsythe takes a travel. So pressure here by the Sterling Tigers. 4:50 to go, 8-0 in favor of Sterling. Sterling now with the ball up left wing, and that is Kylie Chavez. Now out to Tyler Knudsen. Knocked out of bounds by Christina Frick. So Sterling could bring the ball in to the left of their basket. Taylor Knudsen tries to get the ball in. She does get it into Chavez. Chavez back to Knudsen in the corner, and that's going to be good for a 2. Fort Morgan gets the ball up court. Samantha Scott, she gets it off to Michaela Forsythe. Forsythe, going to be another turnover. They're going to call her for another turnover. So I have 8 on the night so far for the Mustangs. Sterling inbounds the ball here with Kylie Chavez. She gets it to Chrisman. Shot up and no good. It's going to be rebounded and then rebounded by Christina Frick and then knocked out of bounds by Chrisman. So Fort Morgan to inbounds far into the court. Aurora Baca to inbounds. Full court pressure here by the Sterling Tigers. You get the ball into Serena Wells, who is now into the game. There's going to be a foul. That's going to be on 33, Jenna Knudsen. That's the first team foul on Sterling. Get it into Samantha Scott. Screened by Serena Wells. Out to, going to be tipped away from Christina Frick into the backcourt. And the ball is going to be another turnover by the Mustangs. Ball is chased down in the backcourt, but knocked out by Christina Frick. Now ball into Maureen Patton. Now back out to Jenna Knudsen. Now over to Chavez, high right wing. Back out to Knudsen, high 3-point range. She picks up her dribble over to Marin Patton. Now underneath to Brower, and there's going to be a foul on Aurora Baca. 2 team fouls on the Mustangs. Sterling to inbounds from the left of their basket. A nice inbounds play there by the Sterling Tigers. Kind of a backdoor thing by Maggie Adney. 2 points for her. Now Fort Morgan to another turnover by the Mustangs. Knocked out of bounds. So Sterling inbounds in their front court. Get it into Chavez. Sterling up 12-0 here in the first period. Shot up and no good. Rebounded to Lindsay Nestor. Serena Wells gets the ball down court. Over to Christina Frick. Frick drives the baseline from the left side. Bounces it off of the Sterling Tigers. So Fort Morgan inbounds from the left of their basket. Down 12-0 with 3:02 to go in the first period. Samantha Scott to get it in. Kicked out of bounds by the Sterling Tigers. So Samantha Scott to inbounds from the left side of their basket. She looks to try to get it into Serena Wells. Doesn't work. Going to be kicked again, but not. I think there was a kick on the inbounds. It should have been a kick ball, so it should belong to Fort Morgan. They are changing that decision right now. Fort Morgan's still behind 12-0 with 3:01 to go here in the first period. Samantha Scott looking to get the ball in. Still looking. Gets it into Aurora Bach in the corner. But she loses it out of bounds. So Sterling the inbounds from their deep end of the court. Under 3 minutes here. Turnover by Sterling. Fort Morgan comes up with it. Now that's going to be turned over again by the Mustangs. Now a long three and up and no good. Rebounded by Mackenzie Chrisman. And that shot was up and no good. Then they come down and have a tie-up. So on the tie-up, the ball belongs to the Sterling Tigers. They get it into Mackenzie Chrisman. She's a 6'3 junior. Now out to Abby Brower out high. Now at the post to Kinsey Chrisman. Shot is up and good by Abby Brower. Have a foul. That is going to be on number 23, Kinsey Chrisman. That's her first. Team foul number 3 on the Sterling Tigers. Serena Wells gets it up across half court. Now Lindsay Nestor drives left baseline. Her shot is going to be up and no good, but they're going to call a foul. So Lindsay Nestor will go to the line to shoot shoot two, excuse me. So Lindsay Nestor at the line. Shot is up and no good. Kylie Chavez back into the game for the Sterling Tigers. Jenna Knudsen takes a seat, 2:13 to go. Sterling leading 14-0. That shot is up and good, so Lindsay Nestor finally gets the Fort Morgan Mustangs on the board. Sterling gets the ball down court quickly. Rebounded to Chavez. Her shot is up and no good. Rebounded underneath, though. And that is going to be Abby Brower again. 4 points on the night for her. Have a foul on Samantha Scott. Basket was up and good. So to the line will be Taylor Knudsen to shoot the foul. And that is no good. So that's 4 points on the night for her. Rebounded to Lindsay Nestor. For Morgan, Samantha Scott gets the ball across half court to Serena Wells. Back to Serena Wells from Nestor. Now Nestor on the left baseline. She's going to try a shot there, up and no good. So the ball will be turned over to the Sterling Tigers, leading 18-1 with 1:29 to go in the first period. We have Abby Mussman into the game. No, excuse me, Amy Anderson. Amy Anderson. The shot is they're gonna have a tie-up after the shot. So the turnover will give the ball, the jump ball will give it to the Fort Morgan Mustang. Aurora Baca checks out, and Christina Frick comes in for the Mustangs. So we have Christina Frick and Serena Wells Michaela Forsythe, Lindsay Nestor, and Amy Anderson into the game for the Mustangs. Amy Anderson gets the ball across half court, gets to Christina Frick. Now Christina Frick drives the lane down the left side, and that is up and no good. Rebounded to number 13, but taken away by the Mustangs. Christina Frick, nice job there. Rebounded to Lindsay Nestor. She gets it across court to, it's tipped into the back court. Now it's going to be a steal by the Sterling Tigers with 43.7 seconds to go. Now another turnover by the Sterling Tigers. So Fort Morgan inbounds far side, half court. Down 18-1. Get it into Michaela Forsythe. Michaela Forsythe trying to get it away, but the ball is going to be taken away by Sterling. Shot is going to be up and good by Jenna Knudsen. Fort Morgan to get the ball in the front court, and Amy Anderson is fouled by Maggie Adney. So Fort Morgan to inbounds here in front of the Sterling Tigers bench. Now to Amy Anderson. Shot is up and no good by Lindsay Nestor. Sterling gets the ball down court. That's going to be picked up by Kylie Chavez. Her shot is going to be up and good for Kylie Chavez. And she is going to be fouled on the shot. We'll go to the line to shoot one with, they have no time on the clock. I don't know how they have to check and see where they need to put some time back on the clock.
Abby, you're on the ball. 50. Mary, you and Casey are back. 50.
So to the line, I'm going to put 3 seconds back up on the clock. So Kylie Chavez to the line to shoot one. Kylie Chavez's free throw is up and good. Fort Morgan needs to inbound, but confused. I thought there was going to be another free throw, I guess. Christina Frick throws it in to a throws away. The shot is going to be up and no good by the Sterling Tigers. So at the end of one, the Sterling Tigers lead 23-1. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang basketball, B106 and B106.com. Back at Sterling High School, the Sterling Tigers lead the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs 23-1. And that one is by Lindsay Nestor. So Sterling inbounds at half court, get it into Kylie Chavez. She's being guarded by Amy Anderson. Chavez keeps her dribble alive. Now over into the corner to Knudsen. Going to be knocked away and out of bounds by Christina Frick. So nice defense there by Frick. So Jenna Knudsen to inbounds left of their basket into Marin Patton. Her little shot is up and no good. A rebounded to Sterling. Shot up and no good, and that was by Maggie Adney. Now a long three, and that is good for Kylie Chavez. 26-1 in favor of the Sterling Tigers. Michaela Forsythe out high being guarded closely. Now she gets it over to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott dribbles towards the middle of the free throw line. Now she gives it to Amy Anderson. Anderson's shot is up and good. So the first 2-point basket for the Mustangs tonight is by Amy Anderson. Steal by Fort Morgan. Now knocked out of bounds by Sterling, and taken will be Fort Morgan ball. Samantha Scott with the ball. Almost knocked away, but she keeps control of it. Now it's going to be thrown away again by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Down court, Kylie Chavez. Shot up and no good, but she gets her own rebound. Turnover by the Sterling Tigers. Loses it out of bounds after the shot. So Samantha Scott to inbounds. Now Michaela Forsythe being guarded in the back court, back over to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott gets it across half court to Christina Frick, and then knocked out of bounds by Sterling. So Fort Morgan to inbounds left of their basket. .6:31 to go here in the first half. 26-3 in favor of the Sterling Lady Tigers. Samantha Scott looks to get the ball in. She does to Michaela Forsythe. Now that is going to be a turnover. Ball was thrown out of bounds. Christina Frick moved towards the basket, and the ball went right by her. So the Fort Morgan Mustangs having a tough time here tonight against the Sterling Tigers. 6:21 to go. Little runner up and no good. Rebounded to Christina Frick. To Samantha Scott. Now the ball's going to be taken away again by the Sterling Tigers. Now Fort Morgan takes it away in the front court. Samantha Scott with it. She gives it to Michaela Forsythe, but knocked away by the Sterling Tigers. Christina Frick to inbounds in front of the Sterling bench. Looks to get it in, does to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott in the corner to Amy Anderson. Amy Anderson's shot is off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded by Frick. Now taken away by the Sterling Tigers. Shot over on the right side is going to be no good. Rebounded to scramble under the basket. Finally knocked out of bounds by Fort Morgan. So Lindsay Nestor to come in and Amy Anderson to take a seat for the Mustangs. 26-3 in favor of the Sterling Lady Tigers. 5:37 to go in the first half. Ball comes in to Kayla Smock, and she does not get it to go down. Rebounded by Christina Frick. There's going to be a foul. Going to be a foul on the Sterling Tigers, and that's going to be on Kenzie Chrisman. So that's her second. Rebound or second foul of the game. Now there's going to be a travel called on Sterling. So Fort Morgan to take the ball with 5:22 to go in the first half. Samantha Scott gets it down court to Christina Frick. Frick picks up her dribble back to. There's going to be a foul call on the far side. It's going to be a 1-and-1, and Christina Frick will go to the line. The foul is on Taylor Knudsen. So Christina Frick to go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Shot is up and no good. Rebounded, though, to the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Then they're going to call a tie-up, and that will belong to Fort Morgan. So now for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, Monica Avalos comes into the game. Now, shot up and blocked by Sterling. Christina Frick trying to get the ball out, and she does to Samantha Scott. Her shot is going to be short, rebounded to Lindsay Nestor, and that shot is going to go in for Lindsay Nestor. Sterling down court quickly. Kylie Chavez, that's going to be taken away, and then taken away again, and shot up and good. And Marin Patton. Fort Morgan with the ball up court. Christina Frick with a little jumper from the right side, and that is up and good for Frick. So 28-7 in favor of the Sterling Tigers. A long two by Sterling is up and no good. Rebounded to Samantha Scott, but taken away. Shot up and no good by Sterling. Foul is going to be on Samantha Scott, and I have her for 3. Five team fouls on the Mustangs. Shot is up and good by Abby Brower. Now Michaela comes into the game. Christina Frick and Samantha Scott come out. Amy Anderson comes back in for the Mustangs. So Abby Brower with a second shot, and that is good. Fort Morgan inbounds. That's going to be a steal by the Sterling Tigers. It's going to be rebounded to number 2, Mackenzie Patton. Maureen Patton, excuse me. And that three is good. 33-7 in favor of the Sterling Tigers. Fort Morgan with the ball up court. Amy Anderson, high right wing into Lindsay Nestor. Lindsay Nestor's shot is up and no good. Rebounded finally to the Sterling Tigers. And that will be Maggie Adney. Shot is going to be up by Sterling and no good. Rebounded to the Sterling Tigers. Now a shot by Maureen Patton. So 35-7 in favor of Sterling. Monica Avalos gets it to the ball, comes back to her, knocked back to her. Now the ball is going to be stolen underneath, taken away by the Sterling Tigers. Shot is going to be up and good, and that is going to be Jenna Knudsen. Have her down for 6. And we're going to have a timeout here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So 3:04 to go in the first half. It's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with them here on Fort Morgan's basketball, B106 and B106.com. Back at Sterling High School, where the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 37-3. 3 minutes to go. Amy Anderson with a shot from the right side. No good. Rebounded by Avalos. And that shot is up and no good. Rebounded to the Sterling Tigers. Pass cross court. Shot is going to be up and no good. Rebounded to Lindsay Nestor. Then stolen away by the Sterling Tigers. Long shot up and no good, but tipped out by the Sterling Tigers. So a shot pass underneath to Maggie Adney, but there's going to be a foul called. And that will be against Monica Avalos, excuse me. It's only 16 fouls so far on the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So they will set up just to the right of their basket. Sterling tries to get the ball in, and it's going to be a turnover by the Sterling Tigers off of the foot of Maggie Adney, I believe is who it was. Now Michaela Forsythe brings the ball up court for the Mustangs. And it's going to be a turnover by the Mustangs in the front court. And knocked away by the Mustangs at the far end, so Sterling will retain control of the basketball with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go here in the first half. Sterling the inbounds from the right of their basket. They get it in, and our three is going to be up and no good. Rebounded to Kruger. That is going to be out of bounds, knocked away by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So Sterling will retain possession of the ball. Serena Wells comes in. Now the ball underneath, going to be shot up and no good. Rebounded to Christina Frick. Frick gets it up to Serena Wells. Pass is tipped now to Lindsay Nestor. Lindsay Nestor for a 2, no good. Rebounded to Maggie Adney. Excuse me. Now all the way down court. That shot is going to be up and good by Jenna Knudsen. So now 39-7. Serena Wells to Christina Frick, and that's going to be taken away by the Sterling Tigers. Jenna Knudsen with a runner down the left side, no good, but the shot is up and good, and that is going to be for Maggie Adney. I have her down for 4. 41-7 now. Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs down with 1:13 to go in the first half. Ball is going to be taken away again by the Sterling Tigers. Layup is going to be short. Rebounded to Amy Anderson. Serena Wells to get the ball across half court. We're under a minute now, 57 seconds. And Serena Wells trying to get the ball out to McCraft, and she is going to be called for the travel. So turnover for the Fort Morgan Mustangs to the Sterling Tigers with 53.9 seconds to go in the first half. Sterling now gets the ball across half court. That would be Kylie Chavez. Now over to Maureen Patton, over to Brower. Just kind of passing around the perimeter. Now Knudsen gets to Chavez. Chavez's shot is going to be up and good. So 25 seconds to go in the first half. Serena Wells is going to be called for a travel. So Aurora Baca comes in. Lindsay Nestor to take a seat here just before the end of the first half. Fort Morgan down 43-7. So now Sterling gets the ball across half court, gets it out to Maureen Patton. Now far side to Taylor Knudsen. Back to Brower. Brower out high at the three-point line with 5 seconds to go. And now to Chavez. Chavez being guarded by Christina Frick. Christina Frick. The runner is going to be up and good by Kylie Chavez. So at the end of the first half, the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 45-7. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B107 and B106 and B106.com. The Mustang Halftime Show is brought to you by High Plains Bank. Hometown service on a higher plane, that's High Plains Bank. Visit the friendly staff at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins for assistance in opening a loan, equity line of credit, or checking account. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank. So here at the halftime, the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 45-7. So with the scoring here so far in the first half for the Sterling Tigers, we have Marin Patton with 6, Kylie Chavez with 14, Maggie Adney with 4, Taylor Knudsen with 4, Kenzie Chrisman with 2, Abby Brower with 6, and Jenna Knudsen with 8. For the Fort Morgan Mustangs, Amy Anderson has 2, Christina Frick has 2, Lindsay Nestor has 3, and that brings up to 7 points for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. As far as turnovers go, the Fort Morgan Mustangs, I have them down for 27 turnovers here in the first half, 10 for the Sterling Tigers. The rebounds unofficially I have are 13 apiece for each team. So Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down big here and need to get their offense going here in the second half. Try to get back into this game just a little bit, make it a respectable game. So 45-7. So we're going to go ahead and take another break before the start of the second half. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel here back at Sterling High School, where the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 45-7 to start the third period. As far as free throws go, the Fort Morgan Mustangs look like they were 1 of 3. Sterling was 3 of 4 in the first half. So Sterling to inbounds far side half court to start the third period. Ball is going to be taken away by the Mustangs. Nice defense there by the Mustangs. Samantha Scott with the ball over to Michaela Forsythe. Now back to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott holds it out high left wing. Now dribbles up center high. Now over to Lindsay Nestor, right wing. Underneath to Aurora Baca. Now back out to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott's shot is going to be up and blocked. So Sterling with the ball now. Jenna Knudsen gets it over to Patton. Now it's going to be a three from straight on off the rim and no good. Nice hustle there to try to save the ball by Kylie Chavez of Sterling, but it did go out of bounds. So Fort Morgan with the ball into Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott gets across half court. Keeps the dribble alive. Now she picks up her dribble. That's where they get in trouble. Now they get over to Christina Frick out about the jump circle. She dribbles it in, gives it back to Michaela Forsythe. Forsythe to underneath now to Christina Frick. Her shot up and no good. And that rebound was to Kylie Chavez. Now Sterling, a little jump shot from the free throw line, no good. Rebounded to Chrisman. Now they're just kind of working the ball out around the perimeter. Kylie Chavez with the ball, being guarded by Christina Frick. Now over to Knudsen out on the high left wing. Now to the post. Going to be a little shot up and no good. Rebounded back to number 23. Her shot up and no good. Then there's going to be a jump ball. So possession arrow to the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Nice tie up there by Christina Frick. Samantha Scott gets the ball up court. Now over to Michaela Forsythe. She picks up her dribble to Aurora Baca, but that's going to be a turnover by the Mustangs. Shot is going to be up and good, and that's going to be by Kylie Chavez. First 2 points of the second half by Kylie Chavez, 47-7 in favor of the Sterling Tigers. Now Lindsay Nestor, the ball is going to be taken away again, and this time by Marion Patton, and that shot is going to be up and good. So 49-7 now, 5:35 to go in the third period. Amy Anderson ready to check in for the Mustangs. Now it's going to be taken away, but there's going to be Michaela Forsythe went down. I don't know if she was poked. I don't know what happened for sure there. She's still down on the floor. We'll see what happens here. Let's go ahead and take a short time out here. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Sterling High School, where Michaela Forsythe is still sitting on the floor. I'm not sure just what if she was poked. I don't know if I'm not sure just what had happened. Coach Krackemeyer is out with her, and I believe an assistant with the Sterling Tigers is also out there, and the athletic director from the Sterling High School out there. Michaela does finally get up to her feet. I don't know if I'm not just exactly sure what happened. So Fort Morgan down 49-7 with 5:24 to go here in the third period. With Amy Anderson to come in, and Aurora Baca, Samantha Scott, Serena Wells, and Christina Frick in. So they're going to take Michaela Forsythe maybe back into the locker room. Sterling Tiger assistant is escorting her back into the locker room. So hope only good things for her. So Sterling inbounds the ball. Ball to Taylor Knudsen. Knudsen's little left-handed shot up and no good. Rebounded underneath. That's going to be by Abby Brower. So Fort Morgan with the ball down court. Amy Anderson. That's going to be a steal by the Sterling Tigers. So they do get the ball down court, and that is Jenna Knudsen. She backs it out, being guarded by Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott still on her. Now to Abby Brower. Shot is going to be up and good by Taylor Knudsen. Little shot from the right side. Now Fort Morgan with the ball on their end of the court. Samantha Scott ends up losing the control of the ball, taken away by Sterling Tigers. Sterling now out around the three-point line. Kayla Smock. Now she gets it to Brower, over to Chavez, back to Taylor Knudsen. Now to Smock. kind of working the ball around here on the perimeter. Now underneath to Taylor Knudsen. Back outside again to Kayla Smock. Excuse me. And they just are backing it out, almost taken away by Christina Frick. Shot over on the left side is going to be up and good. That is going to be Jenna Knudsen with a 2. So 55-7 in favor of the Lady Tigers. Fort Morgan now with the ball. Front court, Serena Wells to Christina Frick. Christina Frick is going to have the ball taken away. And they're going to call a foul on Christina Frick. I have her down. It'll be her second. First team foul for the Fort Morgan Mustangs here in the second half. Sterling to bring the ball up court. Kayla Smock keeps her dribble alive. Now she picks it up and gets it over to Brower. Brower is going to be guarded by Knudsen. Brower over to, we have a name in here. We don't have a number for Sterling. So Taylor Knudsen with the ball being guarded by Amy Anderson. Shot up and no good. Now it's going to be rebounded and knocked out of bounds by the Sterling Tigers. So if we can, 22, maybe Megan Kaiser, 5'8" sophomore, coming up from the junior varsity. So Fort Morgan in their front end. Front court, Serena Wells over to Samantha Scott. Scott now to Baca, back to Scott, over to Frick at three-point line. Now back to Wells. Wells holds it, gets to Samantha Scott. 2:36 to go in the third period. Frick's shot is going to be up and off the rim and no good. Rebound is going to be to number 22, Kaiser. Now Sterling with the ball. Back out to Kaiser. Kaiser gets it to Brower. Brower is going to be guarded by Christina Frick. Now over to Knudsen. Knudsen back over to Chrisman. Chrisman's shot is no good. Rebounded to Baca. Samantha Scott down court to Frick. Now back to Scott to Serena Wells. Wells gets it to Amy Anderson. Anderson picks up her dribble. Now a shot by Christina Frick off the rim and no good. Rebounded to Knudsen, Taylor Knudsen. Sterling gets the ball down court. Kayla Smock. Smock picks up her dribble now to Brower. Back to Smock. Smock's 2 is going to be off the rim and no good. Rebounded to Serena Wells. Serena Wells to Scott. Minute 18 to go. Shot from the right side, and that is up and good by Amy Anderson. So the first 2 points here in the second half for the Mustangs. 55-9 now for the Lady Tigers. It's going to be a steal, I believe. No, Sterling does get it back. Now it's going to be a shot out on the right side by Chrisman. There's going to be a jump ball called underneath. Lindsay Nestor in for Aurora Baca. For the Mustangs, Sterling to inbounds to the left of their basket. 55.3 seconds to go in the third period. Lady Tigers up 55-9. Inbounds to Knudsen. She gets it over to Brower. Brower now to Sarah Kruger. And back out to Kaiser. Kaiser now to Brower. It's working around the perimeter. And is going to try and drive it down the left side. And that shot is going to be up and good by Taylor Knudsen. So that's 8 points on the night for Knudsen. Now Amy Anderson at the other end. Her shot off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded to Kaiser. Kaiser gets it over to Taylor Knudsen. She's being guarded by Amy Anderson. Keeps the dribble alive. Now they get it underneath. Shot is going to be up and good by Abby Brower. It's 8 points on the night 10 points on the night for her. And that is the end of the third period. At the end of 3, the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 50 points, 59-9 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Sterling High School, where we started the fourth period. The Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs find themselves down 59-9 to the Lady Tigers. So Fort Morgan to have possession first here in the fourth period. Christina Frick, Samantha Scott, Amy Anderson, Monica Avalos into the game. Now a turnover by the Mustangs. Mustangs much better on turnovers in that period. They only got them for 5. There's the first one here in this fourth period. Sterling with the ball. Chavez over to Adney. Now out to Chrisman, back to Chavez, trying to drive it down the lane and taken away by the Mustangs. Amy Anderson with the ball, gives it to Scott. Scott to Frick, but it's going to be taken away by Sterling. Knudsen brings it down court, guarded by Scott. Into Chrisman. Shot is going to be up and good. And that is going to be Kylie Chavez. 2 points here in the fourth period. Now Monica, Monica Avalos has it. And there's going to be a foul called on number 33, Jenna Knudsen. That is 2 on Knudsen. Before Morgan inbound right of their basket. They do get it in. Inbounds to Avalos. Back to Avalos. Now to Amy Anderson. That is going to be taken away by Sterling. That is going to be number 33, but she is going to be fouled on the layup. I don't believe she's going to be. It will be out of bounds underneath. That foul is on Amy Anderson, her first. So 6:41 to go here in the third period. Nice steal there by the Fort Morgan Mustangs on the inbound. Then they were called on the, Sterling was called for a stepping over the line on the inbounds pass. So turnover to the Mustangs. Samantha Scott to Avalos. Avalos now to Frick underneath to Nestor. Nestor's shot is up and no good. Sterling with the ball. Rebounded to Kylie Chavez. Sterling down court with it in there, working their offense in the front court here. To Patton. Now to Chrisman. Chrisman into Knudsen. They have a 3-second call on the Sterling Tigers. So 3 turnovers apiece here in the fourth period for each team. Amy Anderson goes out, and Christina Frick goes out. So for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, Rodriguez comes in, and Aurora Baca comes back in. So Scott with the ball. Now to Rodriguez. Her shot is going to be up and good. Her first 2 points in the fourth period. For the Fort Morgan Mustangs, down 61-11 with 5:36 to go here in the fourth period. Now a drive down the lane, little left-handed up, right-handed shot is going to be up and good. That is going to be by Maggie Adney. So 6 points on the night for Adney. We have a 30-second timeout here by the Sterling Tigers. So we'll give you some of the sponsors here that help you bring these broadcasts, make these possible for you to listen to. State Farm Insurance at the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen in Brush, help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home Auto Life Health State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555. Premier Farm Credit is still the lender of choice for America's farmers and ranchers. They understand and are passionate about agriculture and are dedicated to serving America in good times and bad. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. Fort Morgan with the ball across half court. Scott with it. Nice little screen there by Nestor. Now to Avalos, back to Scott. Scott to Baca. Baca back to Scott. Out above the 3-point line. Now back to Avalos. Got 3 feet out past the 3-point line. Baca over to Lindsey Nestor. Nestor's shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Brower. Excuse me. Now Sterling with it, up 63-11 with 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Scott. Scott brings it down, goes coast to coast here. Then it's going to be taken away. We'll see who finally ends up with it. Sterling does end up with it. Another turnover here in the fourth period. Shot is going to be up and no good by the Sterling Tigers. Rebounded to Aurora Baca. Now to Scott, cross half court. Over to Avalos. Avalos into Nestor. Her shot up, no good, but she is fouled. And that foul is going to go against Kaiser. That'll be her first, so Nestor to go to the line to shoot 2. Her first shot is going to be up and good for Nestor. So Serena Wells in for Avalos. Nestor now with her second shot. Fort Morgan down 63-12. Second shot is no good. Rebounded by Kaiser, but then she loses it out of bounds. Valley View Villa, look to the team at Aspen Rehab inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them today, 867-8261. Samantha Scott now over to Serena Wells. Wells to Baca. Back to Wells. 4 minutes to go. The ball is going to be taken away by the Sterling Tigers. Now down court to Sarah Kruger. Underneath now to Abby Brower. That shot is up and good. So 6 points here in the second half in the fourth period here for Sterling. Now to Samantha Scott. Her jumper from the left wing up and no good. Rebounded to Kaiser. Now they're going to call a jump ball. Nice reach in there to tie it up for Fort Morgan Mustangs, Lindsey Nestor. So possession arrow to the Fort Morgan Mustangs. 3:27 to go here in the contest. Samantha Scott looks to get it in. She does to Nestor. Nestor in the left corner. Now to Wells. Wells to Samantha Scott, high right wing. Now over to Baca out on the right wing. They're going to call a jump ball. So possession arrow now to the Sterling Tigers. Sterling to bring the ball up court. Kayla Smock gets it across half court, being guarded by Wells. Wells to Brower. Brower holding it up high. Now to Kaiser. Right wing. Now over to Sarah Kruger. Kruger now to Knudsen. Now over to Smock. And there's going to be a foul, I believe, on Sterling. Be a blocking foul on Sarah Kruger. That will be her first. 2:55 to go here in the contest. Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for home improvement projects. Be a shot up by Nestor, and she is going to be fouled on the shot. That Taylor is on Taylor Knudsen. So Lindsey Nestor to go to the line to shoot 2. Her first one is off the rim and no good. She still will get one more. 4 team fouls on Sterling 2 just on the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Second shot is good for Nestor. 5 points on the night for Nestor. Sterling gets the ball down court. Over to Kruger, knocked away momentarily, but regained by Sterling. Now back out to Kaiser. Kaiser to Brower. Brower over to Knudsen. Sterling just working the ball around here, killing a little clock here. 2:26 to go. To Knudsen. Now over on the far side to Kruger. Kruger back out to Kaiser, being guarded by Rodriguez. Jacina Rodriguez. So Sterling here just killing some clock here, just working the ball around. Now to Kaiser. She gets it back out to Smock for a 3. No good. Rebounded to Samantha Scott. Scott with the ball across half court. Gets it to Nestor. Nestor back to Scott. Over to Jenna. Or over to Wells, excuse me. And her shot up and no good. Rebound fought underneath. And they're going to call a foul on Fort Morgan, I believe. Yes, that will be. And that will be on Rodriguez. So it will be her first. So Fort Morgan with some changes here. Aurora Baca, Samantha Scott, and Lindsay Nestor go out. Avalos, Amy Anderson, and see who else came in. Number 40, and that is Caitlin Cox for the Mustangs. Turnover by the Sterling Tigers as they stepped out of bounds. 1:35 to go here in the contest. Sterling leading 65-13. Wells now picks up her dribble, gives it over to Avalos. Avalos keeps her dribble up. Now it's going to be taken away by the Sterling Tigers. Ball is going to be down. Little layup is going to be up and good by Abby Brower. So now down to 1:07. Fort Morgan with the ball in their end of the court. Avalos holds her dribble. Now gets it out to Wells. Wells over to Rodriguez, and she's going to end up losing it out of bounds to the Sterling Tigers. So they will inbounds far into the court. 56.9 seconds to go. Fort Morgan down 67-13. Sterling with the ball up court, gets it to Kaiser. Kaiser down the right side of the lane. Her shot is going to be up and good. Kaiser with her first 2 points of the night, 69-13. Under 40 seconds here to go. Now to Rodriguez, to Amy Anderson. Her shot up and no good. Rebounded to Avalos. Now a little shot in the lane there, and that is up and good by Caitlin Cox for her first 2 points of the night. Down to 17 seconds now and counting here in the contest. Down to 13, down to 12. Sterling just going to be running, kill the clock here, or try to. Nice little defense here by Avalos. Down to 2 seconds, down to 1 second, and that is going to be the end of the game. So at the end of the contest, the Sterling Lady Tigers defeat the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs 69-15. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Sterling High School, the Mustang postgame show is brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is a tough part nowadays. But when you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you'll get the building you want, when you want it, and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. So a rough night here for the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs. They fall to Sterling Tigers 69-15. So the scoring for the Sterling Tigers, we have Maureen Patton with 8, Kylie Chavez with 19, Maggie Adney with 6, Taylor Knudsen with 8, Kenzie Chrisman with 2, Abby Brower with 14, Jenna Knudsen with 10, and Kaiser with 2 for their 69. For the Fort Morgan Mustangs, scoring for them was Amy Anderson with 4, Frick with 2, Lindsay Nestor with 5, Caitlin Cox with 2, and Rodriguez with 2. for the Fort Morgan's 15 points. The free throws, Sterling did not shoot any free throws in the second half. There were 3 of 6 in the first half for 50%. Fort Morgan in the game was 3 of 8 for just 38%. So not a lot of free throws taken here by either team. We only had Samantha Scott with 3, Monica Avalos with 1, Amy Anderson with 1, Frick with 2, and Aurora Baca with 1. As far as the rebounds go, and these are totally unofficial, we had 19 for the Fort Morgan Mustangs and 24 for the Sterling Tigers. So not a good night for the Lady Mustangs. They will be back out on the court again on Friday night at 5:30. As far as turnovers go, I'll bring up one more stat here. The turnovers, we have unofficially the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs with 39 turnovers, the Sterling Lady Tigers with 16. So the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs will have a chance to better themselves come up on Friday night when they will take on the Brush Lady Beat Diggers at 5:30. The boys to follow at 7. So I think we'll go ahead and close out this broadcast tonight. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. The sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball has been Michaela Clipper. Once again, the final score tonight, 69-15. Once again, the Fort Morgan basketball teams will be at Fort Morgan against Brush. The girls at 5:30, the boys at 7. John Beltran will have the call on those two games. This is Brian Nickel, and you've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com.